Have you ever had fight with your family? Or have you ever thought that it's hard to talk sense to your parents? I had, and I believe we all share the same experience. Back to old days, the poor family relationship really distressed me. But through those experiences, I learned that it's the misunderstanding that leads this problem. If you still suffer from the same situation as I was, I hope you can get some new idea after you heard my story. When I was a little kid, my parents were Superman. Whenever I needed, I just went and asked my parents for help. Tuition needs to pay, tell mom, she'll pay it. My clothes is dirty, tell mom, she'll clean it. Computer is broken, tell dad, he'll fix it. Want to eat burger? Tell dad, he make it for you. At that time, they were unlimited. They can do everything. But after I went to junior high school, the relationship between me and my parents suddenly went down. We had fights frequently, our values became completely different. And most importantly, they are not my Superman anymore. Some kind of magic just disappeared. So, how did it happen? Is my parents changed? No. The person who changed is me. After I grew up and knew more about the world, I started to ask more than what my parents had already given me. And I became picky about whatever my parents did, because I expect them to be as perfect as they were before, even though my standard had already come way much higher. That's why the conflicts happened. But back then, I didn't know that. So here are two examples that happens in my family. First is the way my father uses money. I really didn't know what's his logic of using money. Every time we went to a bookstore, he always didn't let me buy any books. But he himself buys a lot. The conversation always like, Dad, I want to buy this book. It's about guitar self-learning. You can read it here. We have books fill the entire house. You don't need to buy it. But I'm learning guitar. It's not necessary. Don't waste money. And then he just turned his back on me and went straight to the cash desk and bought a magazine. Well, the real point about these conversations are, first, the books fill our entire house. It's all his book. Second, I'm pretty sure that Izouhan is not a necessary. So you can but can. Why there's a double standard between us. Another point is about nagging. From my perspective, there is no doubt that my parents are born to be a couple. Because they are both so good at nagging. When they nag about my lifestyle, they always say no when they should stop. You shouldn't use computer so much. You shouldn't sleep so much. You should go to school right now. Don't dress like that. You look like a gangster. When your math grade was so low, you must never focus on class. Oh my God. A lot of times, I shut the door when they were nagging. I saw that they would stop, but they just keep nagging. Blah, 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 blah. Like they were having cancer or something. Well, my point is, you don't have to say so many times, and it makes me angry and wondering why my parents are so imperfect. But every time after my anger passed away, I always found that when I was bullied at school, who comforted me when I cried? My parents. When I came back from school, who cooked a hot, delicious meal for me? My parents. The clothes I'm wearing right now, who bought it? My parents. When I thought about all of this, I knew I couldn't just hate them for those little things. What they did for me was enormous. But it still confused me that how could my parents be so imperfect? They are Superman, right? The answer is actually very obvious. They are not Superman. They can't do everything. They are human. They are limited. We all understand that everyone is different. We have different values, different ways to do things. And we also know that everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Usually, we admire people's strengths and avoid their weakness. But when it comes back to family, I think we all forget that our parents are also human. They have their own value and their own way to do things. And just like you, they are not perfect. we just forget they're also human. They forget we're human as well. So next time when you have a fight with your family, try to not fight back immediately. Try to have conversation. Let them know what you're thinking. And if they can't understand you immediately, it's very normal. Because before they become your parents, they are just ordinary people. It takes time for them to know more about you. And so do you. We as parents should show understanding to each other. Because only when we accept the truth that our parents are normal people, and they have strengths and weaknesses, then we can start to improve our family relationship.